I'm back, and I'm glad that you're back with me. And I want to talk about leveraging our expertise and what that means. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It's taking your expertise to a whole nother level. But I thought today I'd give you some ideas in terms of how we do that. If you joined us for the last episode, you heard from entrepreneur Nick Stewart and how she came up with the idea of the eye bonnet, and that went to like a whole nother level. And I don't think she necessarily used a skill that she had to do that, but she did leverage parts of what she was already doing as a model, already having like a stage and a platform, and she's using that to elevate the brand of the eye bonnet. And if you're not on her socials, you should definitely take a look and follow her to see what I'm talking about. But for those of us that may not have that level of visibility or that level of creativity, or we're just trying to figure out what the hell to do with our professional selves, that's what I want to talk to you about today. Let's go. All right, y'all. So let's talk about leveraging your skills. And I think specifically leveraging your degree and turning that expertise into something profitable for you. And I have to tell you, as I'm even thinking about this, just like talking about it feels kind of gross. And I have to really think about that and explore what that means. And I think it feels awkward because it's just not a conversation that I'm used to having, right? How many of us are really used to talking about how to turn our skills into something profitable, which means money, right? I don't really think we have those conversations all the time. We definitely don't do it in school. We definitely don't necessarily do it within our careers and our workspaces. And I think that's why I love this space, because we get to venture into how do we think differently? How do we step out of the box? And how do we become more courageous about who we want to be, who we could be? How do we become her? How do we like just get the nuggets and gems that we need to pull things together? And today we can look at that. Like, let's look at what do you have already and how do you make something out of it? For me, I started off doing the career thing. I did what everybody else did, right? You know, I went to college. I went to graduate school after that. I honestly didn't plan to go to graduate school right after that. My grades were not the best. Okay, chemistry kicked my ass, but because of chemistry, I met my husband. So maybe it was meant to be. So, you know, did that. And I only went to graduate school because I honestly wanted to take a break after all of that, after the schooling, and I ran in college too. I think at that point it felt like a lot and maybe I needed a break. But there was a sister in my church who was like, no, don't take a break, right? Sister Margaret. And she was a social worker and she recommended that I go to social work school, go to graduate school. And it was really because of her urging. And maybe at that moment, part of me really didn't know that it needed something. It just didn't know what that direction was. And I think that's the beauty of being around other folks and other like the wisdom in the room, and that's always been something I value, like the wisdom of my elders, especially those who were women. And I was really blessed and fortunate that she poured into me. And it's that pouring into that I think that we all need. And it's that pouring into that I think I still operate from. It's a huge value for me in terms of creating spaces where I can pour out into other women and I can create communities and containers where you can come and you can be fed and poured into and really feel restored and renewed, right? Renew, connect, restore, which happens to be the name of my retreat, right? It's like clicking in my head for me how all of this fits together in this moment with you now. But Sister Margaret,